Guys, welcome back to another session of Let's Talk Sports. Listen, I got a confession to make. Um, this is a confession I've been holding on to for about 30 years, maybe longer. Grew up in Shreveport, Louisiana. Used to play sandlot football. Anybody who knows anything about sandlot football knows what we do, what pros do, but we have on no pads, no helmets, no nothing. So get into this game where we're playing different neighborhoods, and these couple of guys come from a different neighborhood, and they're in our neighborhood, and man, this guy is unstoppable. Like literally, we can't tackle this guy. It's embarrassing. And all I kept thinking about was, you know what? The pride that I have for my neighborhood, no, nobody's going to come in my neighborhood and dominate like this guy was dominating. So I made up in my mind, playing in secondary, the next time this guy comes through that hole, I'm going to hit him so hard, he's going to always remember my neighborhood, Lakeside Pine Grove. And so it began. He gets the ball, he comes around, he comes off tackle and comes straight up through the gap. I'm already at full speed because I'm coming from the safety position. And Jesus Christ, I hit him so hard. And here's the funny thing. I don't remember that. Everybody in my neighborhood is jumping up. They're going crazy. They're screaming to the top of their lungs. What a hit, what a hit. I mean, anybody who's played football knows exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, my God, that was a hit of the year. That was a hit of the year. And I'm sitting there and I'm blanked out. I don't remember anything they're telling me. And if you've been around teenagers playing football, especially sandlot football, everybody's going to stand around and talk about that for the next 20 minutes before the game's going on. In my mind, all I could think about was I was seeing stars. I was dizzy. My head was killing me. And everybody's jumping on top of me. You the man, man. What a hit, oh my God. You the boy, man. I'm telling you, don't come in our neighborhood with that mess. You know how guys are. But I'm literally feeling like I'm going to puke right now. So I got to save face. So I tell the guys, look, man, I'm tired. I got to go home. Here's when the fun starts. As I'm walking home, I realize that something's just not right about me. I get to my house and I walk in. My grandmother was a pharmacy tech. My family pretty much was all medical. And my grandma said, you all right? I said, yeah, I just was playing football. I'm going to go lay down. I go lay down and I fall asleep. It's about 11, 12 noon-ish on a Saturday. And I sleep to the next day. And my grandmother comes in. I had one of those bunk beds. We didn't have very much money, so I had a bunk bed and stuff like that. And she comes in and she says, "Are you all right?" And I said, "Yeah, I just got a headache." She was like, "Well, you just don't look like you feel good." And 2 3 hours later, after church, she comes back in. She checks on me again, but now I've been thrown up for a minute. Now you got to remember, I don't want anybody to know about this because I got a safe space in my neighborhood. You know, I got the best hit of the year. I'm going to keep that. I'm a warrior. And sure enough, 2 more days went by. I didn't go to school. My grandmother comes in from work one day and said, "That's it. You're going to the hospital." I get to the hospital. The doctor examines me. He asks me how I've been feeling. And I tell him everything. I tell him the truth. Just numbness in my fingers. Head's hurting. Can't stop throwing up. It's like every time I eat something, I throw up, and that's really very little because I wasn't eating at all. The doctor took 2 minutes looking at me. Didn't even do X-rays. At the time, there was no such thing as MRIs. It was just X-rays. He didn't even do X-rays. He just looked at me and looked at my grandma and said, "He has a concussion." My grandma, you have to understand her, but she was a little concerned. And how did you get a concussion? And I don't want to tell her. And I'm like, well, I didn't want to say I was over there playing football. We got pretty physical, but I had to. And the doctor said, "You have a concussion, and I need you to lay down, and I need you to stay off your feet for about 3 days." I had already spent 3 days, 3 more days. Right around the 5th day, my head started feeling better. My body started getting back to normal. I'm going to tell you guys a story, and I want you to hear everything I'm about to say. From this point forward, I was 16 when I had that concussion. 16 years old. I still remember it today. From this point forward, I want you to remember one thing. The NFL is a $17 billion industry. Don't you get it confused. $17 billion. Let's talk about Tua. Because I hear all this blame. Ooh, this, and that. Nobody knew how he was feeling more than Tua did. I just gave you an example of that. There's no way you don't feel it. There's no way you don't know you're not yourself. But listen to this before you start blaming Tua. He's a warrior. Tua has had a bad last 2 years. I mean, horrible. This is his first year where he's starting out and looking like the quarterback that was at Alabama. He has a wife. He has a family. This is his contract year. Do you honestly think that kid was going to say, I feel bad, I have a concussion, my head's hurting? Do you honestly think he was going to say that in a contract year with the whole world watching? You think he's going to say that? No, he's not going to say that. This is what warriors do. This is how players should be. What you don't understand is a player, especially a quarterback, sitting in his locker room, the worst thing you want is your team looking back at you and they don't respect you or they don't trust you. You don't honestly think that everybody's saying, we getting ready to play Joe Burrow in Cincinnati on a Thursday night. We just beat Josh out. You don't think he said, I know my defense was on the field for 90 plays against Buffalo. If I don't play, I don't believe that the offense will move like I can move the offense. And I need to protect my defense because this is what teammates do. This is the NFL. And like my boy Jerry Glanville said, that stands for not for long if you're not on that field. So let's hop into it. Now, I hear a lot of people blaming the NFL. Okay? And I hear a lot of people, oh, the NFL need to do this. The NFL have gotten 200 times better when it comes to concussions. They can only do what they can do. Now, do I believe some mistakes were made? Of course some mistakes were made, but remember, this is a $17 billion industry. I'm going to reference back to a scene I seen about 12 years ago on a movie called Any Given Sunday. I want y'all to hear me when I say this. Okay, so there's two scenes I want you to focus on. One is Cameron Diaz played Christina Pagliacci, I think that's how you say it, and James Wood played Dr. Harvey. And they're having a conversation about a player named Shark LeVay, played by Lawrence Taylor. And Shark LeVay character has experienced a lot of concussions. He's tons of them, to the point to where he literally could possibly die with the wrong type of hit. Not to mention, as you'll find out as I continue, he had a broken neck and was playing with a broken neck. Okay? Stop blaming the NFL for this. Let me explain. So in that conversation, the general manager, played by Cameron Diaz, tells the doctor, I need him on the field for the playoffs. Football players are products. This is a business. I need him on the field. Well, hold on, the doctor is saying, this guy has a family, he has children. I mean, I'm a prick, but I'm not that much of a prick. It's a business, $17 billion. Okay, and she wants him on the field. And then after he gets on the field for the playoffs, regardless of what happens, she's going to release him or trade him anyway. You think that's cruel? That's not cruel. That's the NFL. That's football. That's the business. So later on, there's a scene right after that between Al Pacino, who's played Tony D'Amato. Then you got Jim Brown, who played Monte Monroe. Then you got Lawrence Taylor, who played Shark LeVay. And then you have Matthew Modine playing Dr. Olive Powers. Now, Dr. Olive Powers is the person I want to talk about, because that's the person that was watching Tua stumble and fall down against Buffalo. And he was probably saying, this guy is concussed. he shouldn't be playing. But let me help y'all out. Bridgewater versus Burrow does not sell like Tua versus Burrow. $17 billion industry. That's just the way it is. Now, in this conversation, Shark LeBay is being the warrior that he is, not to mention he's being a father, he's being a husband because he has to take care of his family. And the coach, the model who has the right type of coaching, he cares for his player. He's telling him, you could die. His defensive coordinator is telling him, you don't understand. You can live a very unhealthy life if you play in this game. But all Shark LeBay can hear is, I have a bonus that'll make me $1 million if I get 3 tackles and 1 sack. $17 billion industry. And Coach D'Amato looks at, do you need me in this game, Coach? Of course I need you. But not like this. You think these conversations doesn't go on in every organization in the NFL. If you believe that, you are truly delusional. You are just totally delusional. This goes on every single day with every single team. Because remember, the players are the product. They're on the field. So this is not Tua's fault. This is not the NFL. I'm going to bring it all to you guys in just a second, and you're going to understand what I'm saying. What are players in the NFL for? What is the organization's responsibility? The organization is to bring talent to win games. Winning. $17 billion industry. Now, watch this. That conversation ended with Shark LeBay playing in the game, signing a waiver, basically saying, I know I was hurt, I played anyway. But a lot of those waivers get signed. Y'all, we cannot have our cake and eat it too. Either we love the industry for what it is, and we speak on the industry for what it is, or we should just start watching the sport. And I'm not stopping watching my favorite sport. I just understand that this is a business. And most people don't understand it. So let me bring it home for you to make you understand now. The hypocrisy. Normally when I record on the morning of whatever day I'm going to post it. The reason why I do this is because I don't want to watch and get anybody's opinion from any analyst about what I'm going to say. I literally want to have this be my own opinion, not influenced by anybody else's opinion. But in this case, I watched first and I recorded it. And I'll start with the show first. There was a conversation going on between Swaggy and Stephen A. I forgot Bart's last name. And they were all bringing up great points. It was great points. But Swaggy was the one I want to focus on. Because Swaggy said, this is my fault. This is my fault. Because I knew that kid was concussed, and I said nothing about it. He said I should have been screaming to holy hell, telling everybody he shouldn't play. He shouldn't play. Stephen concurred and said, yeah, we can all say that. Well, I don't want to watch that under the bridge, fellas. I want to talk about this in real time. In real time. Listen to me and listen to me closely. You guys as analysts, you can stop the hypocrisy. Most of you guys had a helmet on. When you played, you had a helmet on. And you know you did. And you know these conversations took place. And you know how it works when they get hurt. And you know damn well that a doctor does not control the decision of a player. The coach and general manager decide that. Don't make me bring it up. Don't make me bring issues or things that I know. You cannot even tell me if a player says, I want to play. And general manager says, let him play. Says, sir, I don't think he's right. And the player says, I want to play. We're playing the Cincinnati Bengals on Thursday night. I will not get embarrassed. in this game. This is the NFL. This is the 17 billion. Oh, NFL, they have video that they can watch, and they can sit you down. They said, why didn't they? Because like I told and Merle, definitely get in front of the TV way more faster than Bridgewater at Barrow. Come on, guys. You guys know better. You guys know this. You guys know that what I'm saying right now is the absolute truth. We want to get on TV and talk about how fault it is, and somebody should be held accountable, and this, and that, when this is the industry. This is how it is. We should be talking about let's change that. So stop it. And stop that. You know as well as I know that every single organization and every single player, let's stop, every single player wants the respect of being an NFL football player. Every single organization wants the respect of winning championships, because every single one of those people want a place at the dinner table. The dinner table is the Super Bowl, because until you won it, this will never stop. And 6 months from here, we're never going to, I guarantee y'all, in 6 months, this will not be a headline. How do I know that? Well, let's see. Joe Montana, I thought Jim Bird was going to kill him. Joe Montana, I thought Leonard Marshall was going to kill him. Yeah, when Bruce Smith hit him in the AFC Championship game and he was laying down in the fetal position with his head, holding his head, it ain't stopped since then. How much you want to continue? Steve Young literally played with concussions. So did Troy Aikman. Now, I know the NFL has cleaned up their act since then when it comes to concussions, but how bad did it get? And I guarantee you, nobody stopped watching football and nobody stopped playing it. This is a $17 billion industry. Those guys are warriors. The organization want to win. The NFL want to make money. And we all know that. And there's nothing wrong with it. So stop sitting up and talk about who's accountable. Everybody's accountable. Anybody that has a platform that they can speak on, they're accountable. You weren't the only one who's seen Tua staggering. I saw it. I literally looked at the team and said, this dude's concussed. You get him out the game. Where was he at? Because we playing Buffalo. I got my contract coming up. I got to beat Josh out. Man, y'all, come on. Stop that crap. Who should be held accountable? I think some people should be suspended. No, I think some people should even be fired. How about we just accept the industry for what it is? If you want to fix it, what are you waiting on? It's been time. You could have been fixed it. I'm done with that. I'm an NFL fan. And I believe what I'm saying is that it can resonate with everybody. As long as you understand this is a business and they're a product, as long as you understand that, yes, some things are going to be swept under the rug. Yes, some things are going to be changed from, oh, he has a concussion. No, he has a back injury. Give me a break. We all seen that he had a concussion. And it's our job as people who, and not my job, so to speak, because I don't have a small platform. For those who have a big platform, that's your responsibility too. So before we start firing and hiring and this, everybody should hold themselves accountable for that. Before somebody get killed and that's killed. These are warriors. This is a beautiful game. Stop with the hypocrisy. Just stop with it. You know how it is. Anyway, guys, look, let's talk about sports. You were literally a little bit richer if you listen to me Wednesday when I dropped the video. It's basically saying take Cincinnati. There was too much on Miami to handle with the hurricane, the long, grueling, hot game with Buffalo, with the injuries. It was just too much for them to handle. They're a good team, though. Don't you get it twisted. Now, let's talk about the picks for this week. I literally told you guys on the picks earlier on my earlier show, take the 49ers. Now, do I think the 49ers are better than the Rams? Nope. I sure don't. But here's what I know. Man, look, some reason, when Jimmy Garoppolo plays against the Rams, it's like he becomes like put on a cape or something. This dude is like beating the Rams. So I had to go. Why would I go against that? Take the 49ers and the money line. I think they're gonna beat the Rams. Jacksonville. So y'all not to sleep on Jacksonville. For those who are new to those of y'all who are new to my podcast, no, I told y'all I don't sleep on Jacksonville. I'm just saying I look good right now, don't I? Their team is not a team to be pushed over. You want to understand Jacksonville is the real deal. And last but not least, let's talk about my Houston Texans, who hadn't won a game yet. But you know what? If you're watching the odds on that show on the Houston Texans is causing a lot of people some money. I bet you any kind of money everybody is taking the spread. Oh, they'll cover against Houston. You're not covering against Houston. Lovie Smith is too good for that. He's got those spreads going in the right direction. You keep sleeping on him. Don't sleep on him. Look, guys, let's talk sports. We take pride into the picks that we give you guys. Our picks this week were Cincinnati, Jacksonville, 49ers, Houston. Cincinnati was take the money line, 49ers take the money line, Jacksonville take the spread, Houston take the spread. I'm going to be bringing it to you all like this as much as I possibly can. But on this show, we don't keep it real. So with all that being said, let's talk sports with Richard Cole. Peace. I'm out.